Hello, my name is Munyenda Mushala. For my Arduino final project, the problem that I had was forgetting to water plants. I have a lot of plants. My wife has a lot of plants, and they always end up dying because we forget to water them. So for my project, I just made a way to be able to automatically water the plants without me having to do anything. So I'm highlighting the project in a nutshell. This is the project. I just took off the top case so I can show each individual component of this project. So I have my user input. I'm using a joystick. I'm able to control exactly what moisture I want and whether or not I want to run the pump. I have an LCD display. You see the LCD display is showing the desired and then the percent error and then the actual that is being measured. The measurements come in from this water sensor which I'm using. It's just a moisture sensor. Place it in the soil and that measures the different soils. Inside my case, again I took off the cover just so you could see it. I have a water pump there. I have an RGB light. I have a little buzzer connected to a resistor just to reduce the volume or the sound. So I'll just show you a little bit of what the different inputs do. So for my user input, I have my joystick. I can increase and decrease my desired. So I have my threshold set up to about 910. So when I get to 910, the water pump starts going off and then you see the RGB change. If I go back, it goes back to green, which is good. So this is my moisture sensor that just, this is my input that just helps me control this to avoid flooding and to be able to water it whenever I want as well. I have a buzzer. I'm sure you could hear that. If I press the button, you can hear the buzzer when the pump's going. And then, yeah. I have a moisture sensor, so this basically I have this is just wet soil and this is dry soil. So when it's in the wet soil, based on the threshold that I have set for the moisture, you see it's green. If I pull it out, it's sensing that it's in that in between, so it's blue. If I place it in this dry soil, you see that's going. Push it back there and that just stops. And my water pump, I'm going to show you how the water pump works now. Alright, so when the water pump is running, it gets water from my water source, goes in all the way to the water pump, and then it comes out into this. So if I manually press that, you can see the water is coming out because my actuator, I'm manually doing that. Or I could have my sensor read moisture, and then that would go and that would water my plants. Alright, so this is my project in a nutshell. Again, I just have a little case that goes on top and my user input just sits on top of that cover. So user input helps me control that input, manually turn the pump on and off. I can run it whenever. I have my LCD display. I've got an RGB light to just show what's going on when it's going on. You can hear the buzzer going off. Water pump, and then I have my moisture sensor. So this is a basic feedback loop for me. I'm using the 2-position control for my project.